everybody, it's me back again, and the reason I'm on this time is I was challenged by Jayne Davies to do a 5-card challenge, which basically means that you can do 4 off camera, and I'll show you those in a minute, but you have to make one on camera, one of the cards. You're only allowed to use 1 stamp set, preferably with sentiments, and you can use black ink and any 2 colours of your choice. You can use gems and dimensionals, pails, that kind of thing, but you're not allowed to use any dies, and you're not allowed to use any punches or anything else like that. Now, I believe this started from a channel called Crafting with Gertie that I'm not familiar with, but I will go over and have a look. Jayne was challenged by Lorna Callahan, and so she did hers, and then at the end of hers she challenged me. So I'll show you the 4 cards that I made first. Okay, so these are the 4 cards that I made off camera as part of the challenge. This was the first one. Now, I wasn't sure whether you were allowed to make something like a layer, or any kind of layers, or whether you just had to craft onto the card itself. So we'll go through and we'll see what I've done. Also, I'll first of all should show you the stamp set that I used, shouldn't I? And it was this one that came from the Papercraft Society. I'll just pop something white behind it and hopefully you can see better. Now this was, I think it was box number 8 of the Papercraft Society, and I think it was a company called Be Crafty. This was the first one. This was the second one that I did, and when you're so limited, it's difficult to limited to what you can use. It's difficult to come up with different designs, and I'm certainly not a designer. But anyway, this one I use the key stamps from the set, and it says "You have the key to my heart." I just inked a little bit in my 2 chosen colours, just a very light inking. And then I did a blue key and a pink key and popped a little heart gem on there and some black gems around the outside. So that was the second one. Then this one, I tried to mix up on the stamp the colours so that I had some different coloured butterflies, albeit just 2 colours. There's a clock in the stamp set, or a watch or pocket watch type thing, so I stamped that, and the sentiment says "Time flies," and again just pop some little pink and blue pearls around. And then this was the next one that I did. The tape measure stamp I used on this one, and just did it in sort of varying heights up and down the card. I just stamped birthday wishes, again mixing the colours just try and create a bit more interest, and it says "You are loved beyond measure," just to fit in with the tape measure stamp. And then just pop some little pearls on. This is one of the flowers that I got from Janet Kay, thank you Janet, and I popped a little heart on it as well. Okay, so that's the 4 that I did off camera, and the card that I've planned to do on camera just features the little bee and the sentiment "Thinking of you," and it's going to be very simple, mainly using the black ink and just 1 colour bee each. So basically 1 blue bee and 1 pink bee, and the rest is just going to be black and white. Now the colours that I chose, it was 2 ink pads, and one is the VersaFine Claire in Warm Breeze, and the other one is another VersaFine Claire in Charming Pink. Okay, so first of all for this card, I'm just going to do some very light inking it in the blue. I know these are not meant for, they're more meant for stamping than inking around, but you know, if you're very gentle with it and just go very, very lightly with your brush onto the card. You know, it's just to make a bit of a very light colouring in the background, just to take away some of the stark white. Don't mind it, you know, a bit deeper around the edges, but just, you know, some kind of, hopefully it will look like sky, just a cloudy sky. That's what I'm hoping for with this card. So yeah, just very, very light. And I think that's enough really. That's all I'm going for, just that very light. I don't even know if it's showing up on camera because it's so light, but there you go. So that's that. And then what I'm going to do is use the, I don't have any other black inks, I only have the StazOn, so I have to use this. I know the VersaFine Onyx Black is really good for stamping, but as of yet I haven't got one of those. So all I'm going to do with this is just stamp the bee around, and with some coming off the edges just to, you know, make it look a bit more realistic. And I'll start there, and none of it has to be perfect because, you know, to be fair, these stamps are not perfect, so I'd be hard pressed if I tried to make it perfect. But we'll just have that one coming off the edge. With one flying across that way. One there. I hope I'm on camera for all this. I'm not sure. I can't see my screen, so I'm not sure where I am on all of this. So I'll stamp another one down there. One going that way. One just slightly off the page that way. One coming in from the bottom, we'll have him going that way. And one over here. Right. Then I'm going to do one pink and one blue. I really like monochrome things, but I always think it's nice with just one little hint of colour. So like you'd have a black and white picture with one red rose in it, that kind of thing. That's what I like. I forgot to get a piece of kitchen roll just to dab off that stamp. So we've got the VersaFine Claire Warm Breeze, and I'll just do one bee in that colour, and we'll have him come in over there. Scrape that off. Oops, silly. And then one pink one, just for an extra little pop of colour. And that's the VersaFine Claire Charming Pink. And we'll have that where? There. There we go. So that's the basis of the card, just the very light inking, all the black bees and one blue and one pink. I'm then going to bring in the sentiment stamp, which as I say is just going to say thinking of you. I'm just going to stamp it on a bit, this is quite a thick card. Just going to stamp it in black on there, move those out the way. Give that a good inking up, lots of the light tapping. And then stamp that down on the piece of card. There we go, and then I'm going to just cut around that . Straight as possible. I never seem to get things straight. Let's go off on a wonk with these scissors. But anyway, and then I will just trim that down a little bit more on that side. And just give this a very light brush over with whatever ink is left on my brush in the blue colour. There we go. Now I'm going to pop this up so that it's standing up there. So I'll just pop a couple of these ink pads on. Are they too big? No, they're fine. So these are the 3mm ink pads. I just need to cut one down a little bit. It's just a bit too. There we go. And pop another one on. Oh, get off. There we are. Peel those back. Bring the card back in. And pop that down. Just there. And then I'll just pop a couple of little gems on, not too many, because I want this to be quite a plain card. So we'll use these ones, I think. Okay, so just pop these little black coloured gems on. I may as well use this last little one that I've got. There we go. Always have an odd number, so I've got 5 of those now. And so that is my 5th card, the one that I've done on camera, obviously. So it's that one, that one, the butterfly and the clock one, time flies, you have the key to my heart, and birthday wishes with the wonky stamping. So there you go. So that's my challenge completed. I hope I did that okay. I hope I didn't do any cheating by mistake. There we are. Now I have to think of 2 people to nominate, apparently. So I was thinking, because I'm not sure who's done it and who hasn't, but I've had a look back on these two ladies' channels and I don't think they've done it at all yet. So I'm going to nominate them. The first one is Claire Cartwright. I nominate you to do this challenge. And also I'm going to nominate Andrea Turner. So I don't think either of those have done this challenge yet, so I didn't want to ask somebody that's already done it. So just to remind, and I will put it in the description box, it's the 5-card challenge. You're allowed to do 4 off camera and 1 on camera. You're only to use 1 stamp set, preferably with sentiments. You can use your black ink and any 2 colours of your choice. It doesn't have to be ink, it's just 2 colours. So whatever you want to use. And you can use gems and you can use dimensional foam tape and things. But you must not use any dies or punches or anything like that. And that's it, basically. That's the challenge. So hopefully these two ladies will get involved. Completely up to you though, it's not, you know, it's not compulsory, but I would love you to have a go. So that's Andrea Turner and Claire Cartwright that I've nominated, and those are my 5 cards that I did. And I hope you enjoyed that. Okay, thank you very much for watching, and thank you, Jayne, for thinking of me to do the challenge. It was very kind. And I'll see you all again soon. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.